What's good, Internet? My name is attackslug, and welcome back to WWE 12, The Road to WrestleMania. It is time for those tables, ladders, and chairs.
The following is a tables, ladders, and chairs match, and it is for the World Heavyweight Championship.
It's a new week. Yes, it is. Welcome to a fine Monday here on the program on the heels of Extreme Rules last night, and certainly a lot of things to go over from that show, but obviously there's larger news at play, as I touched upon a little bit of yesterday with those Hulk Hogan rumors. Ended up being Hulk Hogan facts, more or less, because he was backstage last night at Extreme Rules, and he has been reinstated into the Hall of Fame, which is funny because they never put out a press release saying he was suspended or, removed. They just stopped talking about him 3 years ago. He just took him off the website. Like, they didn't go get his ring or anything. They just took him off the website and just stopped mentioning his name entirely. That's kind of the only thing that they did. So having a reinstated thing is a weird statement to make because he was never suspended in the first place, right? So that's unusual. But also being backstage, apparently he was there to, give a big speech to the crew backstage and everything else, and that was being filmed for a WWE Network thing, because of course it was. And in that, according to the dirt sheets and rumors and whatnot, part of his speech was about how you should always watch what you say, because there could be cameras everywhere. And I'm like, that's not a dude who was sorry. That's a dude who was sorry he got caught. Like, come on. If you're actually trying to make a change in your life...
Introducing the challenger. From Dublin, Ireland, weighing 272 pounds, the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus. From West Newbury, Massachusetts, weighing 240 pounds each, is the World Heavyweight Champion, John Cena.
Like, how many old dudes do you know from Florida who actually change that late in life, instead of just being the same person they always are, and hiding it better? Anyway, that's kind of that. I don't want to get too much more into the Hogan stuff, but the rumor is he signed a new deal of some kind, and as I was trying to speculate yesterday, that they might just have these TV deals now, worth billions of dollars, where if they lose sponsors because of this, it doesn't matter. They can lose sponsors, it's not going to matter, because they have all that money from the NBC and Fox TV deals. Literally billions. Huge, highest stock prices ever. So if they lose Snickers, oh well. If folks complain, oh well. But I think that, personally, they put this news out there the way they did to gauge a response. To see, alright, how are folks going to respond to this? So that they didn't put him on TV at all, but they did mention it on the air during the pre-show. He was in the building. So, enough of that Hogan stuff. The other rumor coming out of last night about people who were signing deals were Daniel Bryan. Now, I've heard conflicting reports on that. I've heard some folks saying, yes, he signed a new deal for 2 years, and I've seen some folks saying nothing has changed. He has still not signed a new deal yet. So, again, we don't know. Until WWE actually announces something somewhere, for some reason, we have no freaking idea what the deal is. So, that's kind of the long and the short of that bit of BS here in this TLC match. Is this a pinfall, or is it like getting a briefcase? I don't actually know. Haha. I don't actually know. So, what? There is... What? Just go get a ladder to hit him with. No, get a... Whatever. Some other news, though, which makes more sense when I get into my actual Extreme Rules talk here, is that Kane apparently legitimately injured his leg at some point in the past couple of days, which is why they had to work an injury angle at Extreme Rules for his leg. So that's kind of a shame, considering you booked the return of Team Hell No and then couldn't really properly capitalize on that because Kane was hurt. And it's like the timing on that is kind of funny, because Kane's a guy who historically has not gotten hurt that much in his career. He's worked a pretty safe style for most of his career and has managed to avoid injuries for most of it. But look, he's literally a grandpa at this point, right? He's getting up there. So you're going to get hurt eventually. You keep working in wrestling at that age. Come on now. I have a signature, Mr. Cena. How about an Irish curse, a back-a-breaker? And how about we try to maybe give you a high cross into this table? No, it's going to miss. It's going to miss. That's a shame. Maybe? Nope. That was just like, here's a cutscene. Oh, and Cena no-sells it. But I have the magical triangle. The magic triangle. Feel the bang!
Sheamus, no! Cena's got him. Cena going for the attitude adjustment. Sheamus has the ropes.
Onto the... Nope.
My, Cena
I was going to say, through his table would have been really cool, but...
Yeah, but did you see the way Sheamus
Oh yeah, it totally is
like
a ladder match.
Some of the impact. Well, it doesn't matter, because Cena's going up.
So would the game have let me climb if I actually wanted to get a ladder and climb?
Cena's going to win.
Or
wait, look at
would it have not
Sheamus.
worked because you had to have your cutscene? Oh, high cross.
Man, this is
onto the
awful.
outside? Onto the outside? No, just in the ring.
No, he can't.
Yes, onto the outside!
He did.
Hell yeah.
High cross.
There should have been a
And
table
John
there.
Cena landed with a sickening thud outside the ring.
A sickening thud like
I don't
Lashley
believe
last
this.
night. Good God.
How did this happen?
How could this
King,
happen?
The United Kingdom has won every title in WWE.
Ta-da! Pyro.
We enter a new year on heels of arguably one of the most infamous nights in WWE history. We welcome you live to Monday Night Raw in Miami, Florida. Michael Cole and Jerry the King Lawler at ringside. It was an historic night for this band of, well, I guess we have to call them champions now, the United Kingdom.
Yeah, never in my life have I seen a group just dominate the way the United Kingdom did last night. Say what you will, but you have to give them credit.
And now, King, they hold all the gold.
You must give them respect.
Before you is every champion in WWE today.
You see, when a man or woman from Great Britain puts their mind to a task, it gets accomplished.
I
I've been
mean,
in this industry long enough to see many groups come and go. The Generation X, Evolution, the Four Horsemen. And the men that formed those factions were all outstanding, but they were just men. Peasants, if you will. We are kings. We come from countries of nobility and honor. We are superior to you. We, the United Kingdom, are superior to your Four Horsemen.
no. No.
It can't be. I think that's the music of the Four Horsemen, King.
It's the enforcer of the Four Horsemen.
Hell yeah, Arn Anderson.
Arn Anderson.
Hell yeah. Hit that spine buster.
I'm sorry, William. My hearing's not as good as it once was. Did you just say your group, United Kingdom, that's been around for the length of a sneeze, is superior to the Four Horsemen? A group that dominated for 20 years? Did I hear that right?
That's exactly what he said.
Drew, you talk out of turn again, I'll come down there and take you over my knee. Do you understand?
Look here, you dinosaur. If you don't think the United Kingdom is better than the Horsemen, then we can find out right now.
Yeah, get
Look,
Flair and,
Sheamus,
well,
my competitive days are over. But if you're feeling frisky, I think something can be arranged. Now, just a second. Let me think. I have it. John Cena told me just a couple of minutes ago he was looking forward to his rematch. But he doesn't want to wait until Royal Rumble.
why not?
Sheamus, you and Cena are going to tangle right now.
Right now. That's Raw for you. What you gonna do? Oh, not even an entrance? Nothing. Just instantly into the match. Okay, sure, fine. Whatever. Anyway, on to Extreme Rules. Last night, there were certainly things that happened. One of the most surprising things being that the B Team are your new Raw Tag Team Champions. Like, what? Does this mean that Bray and Matt are going to break up and we have, you know, new contenders for those tag titles at, say, SummerSlam? Or does the AOP or the Revival win them before that? I'll be curious to find out. Very, very curious to find out. But that's kind of like, one of the matches I thought was the easiest match to call for the night. I was like, well, they'll build them up a little bit and then have Bray and Matt just, you know, thoroughly squash them good. That did not happen because the B team are your tag team champions. Like, what? Okay. So important to get into here, right? This whole Kurt Angle ultimatum for Raw tonight. Obviously, I'm recording this at like 9 in the morning, so there's, you know, things that haven't happened yet. But, people are saying, oh, well, Brock's going to show up on Raw tonight because he has to. Because Kurt said either show up on Raw or you get the belt stripped. I'm like, no. Kurt said that either Brock shows up on Raw or he agrees to the terms of his next title defense or he gets stripped. Those are 3 options. So the second option, which is agree to the terms, means that Paul Heyman could show up and agree to the terms on Raw tonight. I've watched enough wrestling to know when they specifically phrase things a certain way, it's because they want to swerve you out of what you think's going to happen. And it looked like Kurt was kind of reading from a cue card, so very much specific wording on how he phrased that. Either or. So, we'll see. I mean, look, I'm not going to say Brock is not going to be there tonight, because that could always happen. But I feel like they're avoiding having Brock showing up, because if Brock shows up, Braun said, as soon as Brock is there, anywhere near a ring, he's going to cash in the Money in the Bank. So they're going to avoid having Brock show up.
Sheamus going for high cross. But Cena counters.
STF locked in.
STF locked in.
Sheamus hit the rim.
Oh, smacked him in the face.
I doubt it.
Here comes McIntyre.
Wait a minute.
Future Shock DDT. Oh no, Spinebuster. No, not
DDT.
Spinebuster. Really?
McIntyre
Arn?
skull first.
Arn, what do you...
Cena's gonna win.
How do you...
Attitude adjustment. 1, 2, 3. No! McIntyre breaks it up.
How close was Cena?
And the ref has no choice but to disqualify Sheamus.
How do you go through all the trouble of bringing in Arn Anderson and you don't let him do a Spinebuster? Like the thing he's known for? What?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Monday Night Raw. Michael Cole here with the Hall of Famer Jerry the King Lawler. And King, the road to WrestleMania begins at the Royal Rumble in just 3 weeks.
Well, the Royal Rumble is the most unpredictable match of the year in WWE. You see things that make your jaw drop in that match.
And of course, if you win the Rumble, you punch your ticket for the main event at WrestleMania. We've also learned that after the events of last week, John Cena will face Sheamus one more time for the World Heavyweight Championship at the Rumble.
Yeah, win the Rumble and get in the main event. That totally happens the past couple of years. It doesn't. You're not in the main event.
Once again, I have retained my World Heavyweight Championship against John Cena.
Yeah, but you didn't beat him.
And now Cena wants to try again at the Royal Rumble to take the title from me? Fella, it's not gonna happen. And the same goes for Lord McIntyre and Lord Regal's opponents tonight.
It's a tag team match, player.
You know what?
Oh, hey,
You
Cole.
guys are pretty crafty. See, here's the thing. Daniel Bryan and I are pretty crafty too. The UK has been banned from ringside for our tag match. So why don't you go and work on your tan, Sheamus?
So Kofi Kingston and Daniel Bryan will face the WWE Tag Team Champions, William Regal, Andrew McIntyre.
The Nux.
Yeah,
the
the
Nux.
best part is that the United Kingdom is banned from ringside.
Power of the punch. Yes, because banning from ringside works so well as of last night. Oh, here we go. We can D-Bry. A very young-looking D-Bry with very short hair and a very short beard is always music. Anyway, so yes, Brock could show up tonight, but I've seen a lot of wrestling. I have my doubts. Pretty sure it's going to be Heyman. But hey, we'll see. I've been wrong before. Anyway, it's Regal and the man he trained. How about that? The Carmella and Asuka thing was kind of just overbooked a little bit because of the whole thing with Ellsworth having to hang upside down from the cage. It was a nice visual until you're like, wait, he's in a harness. So, I don't know. It was okay, but I'm shocked that they didn't have Ellsworth somehow cost Carmella the belt. Like, that was surprising to me. Anyway, there had to be at least one squash match last night because we knew 10 matches on that show, you were going to have to do something. And somebody was going to have to get squashed, right? So it ended up being Jeff Hardy, who we knew, dealing with an injury, So having Nakamura squash him was a smart move. So one surprising thing is that he is getting his rematch on SmackDown. You're like, isn't he just going to take off time to, be hurt? And B, Randy Orton is back. And you're like, wait, didn't he just have surgery on his knee like 2 months ago? Apparently, he's back. So he might not actually work a match until SummerSlam against Nakamura. But he is back in the company on TV after 2 months. So, sure, cool. That works. Now, speaking of Braun Strowman and Kevin Owens last night in that steel cage match, Kevin Owens, for the second pay-per-view in a row, taking a ridiculous bump. And he needs to really have a heart-to-heart with Mick Foley if he's going to keep doing these huge bumps and see how that really has worked out for the health of Mick Foley at his age. Like, come on. It's not really necessary to be doing that ridiculous stuff, like, every show. Like, every 6 months or a year, fine, but not, like, that many shows in a row. It's not good for your body, is all I'm saying. So, yeah, ridiculous bump. Pretty much a Hell in a Cell bump. Except he had a crash pad underneath the table. Still, though, even with a crash pad, you're still falling 20 feet onto a plastic table, wooden table, whatever. It's still gonna hurt. It's still not gonna feel good. Meanwhile, Bobby Lashley, was not in the main event, thank God. Roman Reigns not in the main event, thank God. And Bobby takes a bump that probably hurt just as bad as the Owens bump. He went over the top rope and onto the floor on his shoulder. And I'm like, what are you doing, Bobby? That is a career-shortening bump in any sport. Like, what in the blue hell? Seriously. That was kind of crazy. So hopefully he's feeling okay today, but you're gonna feel that one. Like, seriously. Now the Alexa and Nia match was bad. It was overbooked, and it wasn't any good. And I had a feeling it wasn't going to be any good based on when they had Alexa and Bayley have that kendo stick on a pole match. Was also just terrible. Just stop. Come on. You had the Ronda Rousey thing with Mickie James and Natalya, and it was just all just overbooked cluster. And I was like, don't care. Meanwhile, AJ Styles and Rusev put on a decent little match that should have been in the main event, but wasn't. And unfortunately, it is not a celebration on this Rusev Day because he did not win that title. But I kind of thought that was going to be the case for one handsome Rusev, if you will. And the actual main event here, because obviously you got to have Raw main event even when Brock's not in the building. You got to have Raw main event, and that was Seth freaking Rollins and Dolph Ziggler for that IC title.
Regal goes for Kingston, but Kofi counters. Regal staggered.
Oh, what a leap by Kofi. This young man is so agile.
Kofi's going
the knucks. The knucks.
Did you see that? It looked like Regal just threw something out of the ring.
Yeah, I think Regal grabbed something from his tights right as Kofi was going for trouble in paradise.
Here are your winners.
Tyler Punch.
Arn's
here.
Arn Anderson.
Drew McIntyre.
There's no instant replay.
Oh, look, Michael. It was
No.
Knuckles.
That's not how it works. You can't. You already counted the pinfall. No. Well.
Kofi and Bryan earned the victory. But Regal and McIntyre will retain the titles as they can't change hands on a disqualification.
Still got the belt. Can't change hands. Sorry.
Again.
Regal looks pissed. And in terms of your 30-minute Iron Man match, which the crowd was just kind of counting at every minute, they took the clock away. The crowd was like, where's the clock? Where's the clock? They brought it back. The crowd popped the clock, and they're counting at the end of every minute like it was the Royal Rumble, and obviously it's not the Royal Rumble. And I've seen the arguments on both sides. It's, one, you pay for a ticket, you can do what you want, right? It's two, had you presented a more compelling match, a more hot, crazy match, then the crowd would have been more invested in watching your match instead of counting on the clock. So, honestly, my opinion was, hey, maybe you should have had AJ and Rusev in the main event. I'm just saying. But Dolph retains because of a sudden death, restart, McIntyre interferes, etc., etc., whatever. I'm attackslug. Thanks for watching. More videos every day. I'll see you next time right here on this channel. And I'm out.